A title: How I Knew I Had PTSD. Reminders of the event.
Anytime a helicopter went over, that affected me very much because I saw some guys die in a helicopter, well, actually 2 helicopter crashes in Vietnam.
The biggest trigger for me is smell.
I do have a lot of nightmares. They have to do with what happened out there, most of them.
I was in Arabic class, and I remember the teacher. Like, I remember him lecturing us, and I looked out the window, and all of a sudden I started seeing things that weren't there. I really thought my rapist was there. I really thought he was going to come in the window and get me.
Feeling on guard.
Before going to Iraq, I really didn't understand what road rage was. I couldn't understand why people would get so angry, and I found myself really furious at people who would do things, not even necessarily cutting me off and being dangerous, but just stupid things.
Back in the days when I was going through what I call my Chernobyl period, I slept 1 or 2 hours every other day. And I never slept without a loaded gun and a survival knife near me.
A lady was coming towards me in a hurry, and she dove right into her purse. And the first thing I did instantly was, I need to protect my nieces. I started scooting in behind the pillar, started moving away, and I instantly went reaching for my hip, and realized, wait, I don't have a knife or a gun. And this happened in like 3 seconds, and all she did was, in my head, all I was thinking was gun, 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 gun. She's gonna pull a gun on me. And all she did was get her cell phone.
Avoidance.
Sometimes I really can't leave my house.
When I first came back, I couldn't even walk in Walmart. I had a real hard problem going to Walmart. I'd hear people talk from a different language, and it put me on edge. I would literally back up against the aisle in the wall and watch the aisle down until they passed, if they were behind me.
I used to disappear on weekends and just drive. Come home on Monday morning and go to work. They understand why I would do things like I would drive to New York City to get a cup of coffee at night and drive home. Driving became my release. They couldn't understand that at the time. They do now. They realize that I just had to do that.
Feeling worse about the world and yourself.
The emotional numbness, I think, is the most... It'll just tear away all the relationships in your life.
I don't want to have to try and explain it to people. And I didn't want to have to go over my experiences every single time to try and let somebody know. So it's much easier just not to have friends.
Everything I did was wrong. The war in Vietnam was my fault. Anyone who died there, I might as well have pulled the trigger. It was my fault. So therefore, I probably wasn't worth helping.
I trusted no one. Absolutely zero trust, even in my own family, my own sons, my immediate family. And friends that I had, lost total trust in my friends because I felt like if I trusted somebody and somewhat opened up, I was going to get hurt.
If you're going around saying everybody else has a problem and it's not me, chances are, yeah, you're the one with the problem.
To learn more about PTSD treatment, call your local VA medical center or visit www.ptsd.va.gov. Credits: About Face and National Center for PTSD, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, 2014.